Welcome back, everyone. As you can see, we're in a winter storm warning right now, and this is just the beginning of it. And what we're going to do today is try out the new Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe and see how she does in the snowy conditions. All right, so just to show everyone here what we're dealing with, you know, it's not bad, it's not great. Right now we've got the vehicle in electric mode, and I just actually want my first drive impressions here of how the vehicle actually drives when it's snowy out in snow mode in electric only range here. So the heat is blowing. That's probably going to decrease the battery quite a bit, but just for the purposes of the testing here, I want to leave it in electric mode just to see how it does handle. And actually what I'm going to do is turn down the heat a little bit here because we don't need this blower blowing so high. And I'm going to turn it to defrost. So right now we've got Bridgestone Dueler HLs on right now. Not great, but we're just accelerating here from a little incline. Traction control is working very good. It's so quiet. The acceleration right now isn't great, of course, because we're in snow mode. So essentially what it's doing is leaving the transmission, even in electric mode, in a higher gear. So we're not doing any spinning or anything like that. But the roads aren't great, but just testing it from side to side, it does, you know, granted the tires aren't the best, but it doesn't hold traction the best because of the tires, of course, but it definitely holds its own. The traction control works really good in terms of getting this back into the lane, which is nice. You can feel the Quadra-Track 2 system doing its job, pulling it back. Eventually I'd like to get some more all-season tires on this, rather than these Bridgestones that are on here right now. I'm not a huge fan of those, but it's slowing me down okay. Now we're just pulling out to the highway here. Not a lot of people on the road today. So traction control is kicking in as it should. And now we are accelerating up to what would be safe speeds. Probably about 45. I've got a large semi coming right now, right at me. Man, I have to say it is really windy right now, and I'm going about 45. It is so quiet in this truck. I cannot believe how quiet this Grand Cherokee is. This has got to be in electric mode with all the NVH and everything in here. This has got to be one of the most quiet vehicles I've been in, and that even goes for the few Mercedes-Benz that I've had. I have to say this is a great product, and it's just so comfortable. Stellantis did everything right when they were building this product. We're gonna wait here. The roads aren't terribly bad. I just want to show you what we're dealing with here, so I'm slowing down. The roads aren't terribly bad right now. We'll rejoin here. It's supposedly supposed to get worse. Apparently we're supposed to get up to 7 inches of snow. So I want to test this vehicle out when it does get a little worse and kind of report back at how it does and how it feels. But right now everything feels really good, and I feel safe and confident here on the road, which is always a huge plus when you're driving in the wintertime. This Jeep has just such a nice combination of low center of gravity because of the battery being down low, and it positions you higher up in the vehicle with the ride height, so it really makes you feel confident when you are driving, which is what you want. It's so unique to be in a slightly, I guess I should say, semi-electric, well, plug-in hybrid vehicle here in the wintertime, because especially just coming from a Durango RT Tow and Go. It's just amazing how quiet everything is and how much torque one has to offer here. The torque on this vehicle right now is easy to modulate in winter driving. One thing to note on here, these Bridgestone Dueler HLs are not great. This vehicle really needs some sort of all-season or almost a like all-terrain, mud-terrain tire on it, especially for winter driving, because it just tends to slip all over the place. Paired with the regenerative braking, it's almost too much for some of these snowy conditions here. But acceleration is good, but again, honestly guys, the tires on here is what's limiting this vehicle. The UHPs, the General Grabber UHPs that are actually on the Durango handle a lot better than these Bridgestone Duelers that are on here. I'm not very impressed with these tires, and I think a tire upgrade may be coming in the near future for this vehicle, especially for snowy conditions like this. And when you live in northern Wisconsin, you're due for some snowy conditions. But in the wet, they're great. In the snow, not so much. And when you're dealing with, winter storm warning right now, which really hasn't amounted to anything here, you're dealing with just some slosh and some slurpiness on the roads. When you turn, you expect your vehicle to do better than essentially what it's doing. But it's getting through the snow fine. It just, when the regenerative braking kicks in, the vehicle wants to slide because of the tires, not because of the four-wheel drive system, but essentially because of the tires that are on the vehicle right now. So what we're going to do here is essentially drive on roads like this. I want to test the electric mode here and the actual hybrid mode and see which one works better. So now as we put it into eSave here, the charge is going to happen with the battery here, and now the engine is running right now. One thing you're going to notice is that with the engine activated, the electric driving assist is still there, but it's more like driving a gas-powered vehicle. So it's a little bit less apt to spin out because of the fact that the gas engine is on, so you're not dealing with instantaneous torque like the electric motor gives you. But right now we're in, of course, snow mode, and we're accelerating fine. I do really like this rear view mirror that is on there. And we're trucking along pretty good now. This is about what we're gonna deal with on the way up to where we need to go, actually, to get the windows tinted on this. And overall, it's handling really good. You could tell the vehicle's weight, especially considering the Durango is a heavy vehicle, but this is even heavier. It's definitely noticeable in the shorter wheelbase for sure. And I want to keep the view like this just to show everybody what we're dealing with. So essentially just snowy, icy roads right now. And it's really not that bad, especially for the Jeep. We're really not sliding at all, and it's smooth sailing for the most part. Now, where it may get interesting here is where stuff gets slushy and sloshy a little bit, but these roads right now are really good, and I really don't have much to worry about right now. We're in snow mode, so it keeps it in a lower gear. One thing that's really nice about this vehicle is that even in e-save mode, where you do get less miles per gallon on gas, it does charge the battery very, very, very fast. Everything's easy to reach with the buttons, and then we're going to turn down our heated seat. There's a level of refinement in this vehicle that you just don't get in the Durango, and even when you're in the snow, that refinement is there. And you can see here the roads are just basically swept over with snow, and everything's, you know, pretty good. If we slow down a little bit here and kind of step on it from 40, it's holding its own. It really is. It holds its own good. This vehicle with its Quadra-Track 2 system, four-wheel drive system with the correct tires, would really be a snow killer. This thing would just absolutely demolish any sort of snow that we would get, whether it be like this or 10 or 12 inches of snow. This vehicle would demolish it. So, well, I feel more settled, honestly, in this vehicle than I do with the Durango, even though these tires aren't that great, just because of how the four-wheel drive system is working right now. You could almost feel it work, and although this does not have a mechanical limited slip like the Durango does, it you could feel the four-wheel drive system working when you drive, and by that I don't mean clunking. You could feel where it's just sending the power to each individual wheel where it needs to go. When we get back into the city, I'm gonna put it right just basically in electric mode, because I like the way that drives in the city, especially when it's snowy out. Here we go, getting into the city here with some more slick roads. The Jeep is doing good here for the most part. Again, it's limited by its tires. And I'm getting a call. Here we go, just testing the vehicle going around the corner here. The gas engine is kicked on because we're out of range. I mean, it's really holding on to the corner good. Now as we give it some gas, it accelerated really nice. We are still in snow mode here, and of course it's going to keep it in a lower gear. And now we're going about 60, going the speed limit. And it's really holding its own here. One thing I don't like, and that I actually can turn off here, is the lane centering when it's slippery out like this. So I don't like the lane centering, how aggressive it is, and that can all be turned down when it is wet out like this, or slippery, I should say. Well, wet and slippery, because when you're trying to go straight and the wheel all of a sudden just turns every which way, it really isn't the best system when it's snowing out like this, because you could have one lane of the road be complete snow and the other be clear, but then you catch that center part like right there and it takes you into it, and now you're being sucked into the other lane. So it's not the greatest system when it's snowing out like this, but I can turn it off, and maybe that's what I should do. But we're getting up here to some lesser used county roads, so I'm curious to see how they are gonna be. But a lot of this snow today, what we were supposed to get, really turned out to be nothing, and it's so windy out that a lot of the snow is just blowing every which way. So overall, I'm impressed with the Grand Cherokee. I like its shorter wheelbase than, we'll just say, a Durango or a Grand Cherokee L. Just for the fact that it's easier to manage. It's more manageable. And now you can see road conditions here just aren't great. I do like this size as well. I like how high up you are sitting in the vehicle as well when you are driving it. They really knocked it out of the park here with this new Grand Cherokee. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Now, what's really nice in hybrid mode is that it goes in between gas and electric. I know it says 0 range left, but there is technically a little bit of a range left, and regenerative braking is on as well. Of course, it's in electric mode. This guy is turning, but we're going to go ahead of him. So yeah, now we're dealing with roads that aren't as great. You can see it's, instead of salt being used, it's dirt. So I just want to give it a little gas here. Wow. I'm going to be completely honest with you. That was not floored, but this system kept me in a straight line on ice and snow covered roads. That Quadra Drive or Quadra-Track 2 system is definitely one of the best four-wheel drive systems and all-wheel drive systems I have been in a vehicle before. That was excellent. How good that kept me in a straight line and how good it used the power of the vehicle to differentiate from different wheel to wheel to wheel. So what I want to do here now, as the roads are more or less like this, just get the camera set up here and sort of talk about the car and my final thoughts on it, which have been fairly positive, I would say, so far. So I was torn when I drove this at first in the snow because I just wasn't sure how it would handle. But after I've been driving it, yes, the tires make a big difference, and it should have better tires than what it comes with from the factory. But that's just my opinion. I have to say, though, the Quadra-Track 2 system does such a great job at limiting power to one wheel and providing power to the other wheel. And it acts so fast. It's definitely one of the more advanced all-wheel drive systems or four-wheel drive systems I have been in. And that goes for my Ram truck, my Durango RT Tow and Go, the SRT Jeep, even that Mercedes-Benz GLE 43. It just has such a great four-wheel drive system to it. And I'd press on the brakes right now, but I don't necessarily want to. You know, one thing about this vehicle that, you know, a regular Grand Cherokee would do better at is the fact that this has 470 pound-feet of torque, so it's so easy to break the wheels free. And some snow just flew and hit me, but it's so easy to break the wheels free because this has such high levels of torque. But even right now, as I'm putting the pedal down here, it's doing a great job at keeping me straight and keeping me on the road. That's one thing I can't say for the Durango. The Durango or the Jeep, when I get it in this, because they're performance vehicles, the back end wants to slide out like a rear-wheel drive vehicle. But this is doing a great job at keeping me in the lane that I'm in right now. And considering how bad the roads are right now, I'm not slipping and sliding all over the place. And that has to do a little bit with the weight of the vehicle as well, being such a heavy vehicle. This is, rating this against the other vehicles that I've had, this is definitely probably this is the best SUV that I've been in for wintertime performance. I would say the Durango is a close second, but just because that all-wheel drive system is more performance-based than this system, it gets some negative points for snow performance there. This is more of your off-road snow performance vehicle here. And it's handling its duties very well. I feel safe and secure, and I feel like I could drive on this stuff forever and not white knuckle it or break a sweat. I definitely feel safe in this vehicle. Now, this vehicle in the Trailhawk trim with the regular Pentastar V6 would probably be even a better option in the snow, just because that has so much less power. But this, again, is putting its power down fine, and it really makes you feel safe. And again, here I'm pressing the brakes, and you know, I slide out a little bit, but it's doing a really good job at keeping me in my lane and keeping me straight. One thing that I can't say for my SRT Jeep or the RT Tow and Go that we have in the Durango. The plow trucks are out now. We're just passing one here. They're getting all these side roads cleaned up. And now as we continue to go up this hill, I just want to give it again, maybe a little bit more power. We're in 7th and we're dropping it to 4th. This is doing a really good job at putting down the power. I am impressed. Great job, Jeep. I'm really impressed with this. Wow-wee. So, with that being said, guys, I think I've said everything I need to say here. I'm just going to show you what we're dealing with here again. Essentially, snow-covered roads, if you've driven on roads like this, they're not great, especially with the tires that we have on now. But the Jeep is really good at putting down its power, and I have to say I am thoroughly impressed. This probably gets an 8 out of 10 for me right now. The tires are probably a 4 out of 10. So with that being said, guys, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Like and subscribe. Let's do a little braking test here. Yeah, great job. Really great job here.